Everything you've heard about the women of the Philippines is a lie. And in 14 points, which I examine on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being the least likely case and 10, of course, being the most likely case, you'll see exactly how. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I'll give you a bonus tip that can be helpful to your journey here to the Philippines. If you're new here, this is Unpopular Tea. I'm Taj. I'm not here to win friends or be politically correct. My goal is to inform based on mostly my personal experiences with some facts sprinkled here and there. And all right, guys, gals, the tea of the day, which I've been getting a lot of requests about from friends, family, acquaintances, is what are the women of the Philippines really like? So let's get into it. Quick caveat, I've met, and notice how I said met, not just talked to, a decent amount of women here in the Philippines, and my experiences were very good, actually. So the women I've kicked it with are smart, book and street smart, beautiful, caring, understanding, have great conversations, and we always share a lot of laughs and have a lot of fun enjoying the simple pleasures of life. However, this is not a video about just that. It's a part of the whole, but it's not everything. As unique as we all are, we are very similar also. So first things first, women are women no matter what, no matter where you go. They're biologically wired in ways that makes them very similar across the board. At least that's what I've realized throughout my life, dating in the US and now meeting Filipinas. So with that being said, there's not a whole lot of differences between American women and Filipinas who live in some of the more densely populated areas here in the Philippines. So the approaches may be different, but for the most part, there are a lot of similarities. Okay, number 1, attractiveness. I'll give this a 7 out of 10. Of course, this is personal preference. However, I came up with this based on the fact that there are so many skin tones among the people here. You have morenas, which are dark-skinned people. You have the fair-skinned people. There's a variety of different heights, hair textures, shapes, and diverse sense of fashion. I mean, just walking down my street alone, I see women who could be supermodels. And the crazy thing is, some of them don't even think they look good. Now, the flip side of this is why I gave this a 7 out of 10 and nothing higher. And that's because I'm big on like proportional bodies. And often I see some areas of opportunity to spread some of that body meat around in other underloved areas. Number 2, approachability. I give this a 7 out of 10. And the reason for this is because a good amount of times I've met with women here, and within the first few exchanges, the conversation quickly goes from timidity to more relaxed. Now, the key is always finding, at least for me, common ground and laughing early. Now, depending on how long I might speak with them, it feels like we've been acquainted for weeks. And the flip side of this is I do see often when walking around, and literally I try to walk everywhere so I can, soak it in and get the full experience. I notice a lot of women intentionally avoid eye contact. I mean, like, even in the West, I've noticed women who make eye contact and maybe like roll their eyes if they're not interested. But here, for me, I see a good amount of women holding their head down, like when they're walking past you, or maybe their eyes are just down, or they might be looking the complete opposite direction, or they'll pull their phone out last minute as they're walking by you. Now, that could just be me. I could be misinterpreting it, but it does happen quite a bit. Now, also, I mentioned this in the last video. There was an off-putting experience I had going to one of the clubs out here where I was walking around, doing my thing, and I walk up to a group of women, and there would be like 1 or 2 Filipino guys with them. As I walked up, the guy would be laughing at me and then lean over to one of the women and say something, and then she'd look at me and then start laughing, and then the whole table would turn around, look at me, and then start laughing. And that happened 3 times that I can remember. Now, I'm not entirely positive what that was about, but it did happen. I want to chalk it up and just say maybe it was just the wrong place, the wrong time type of thing. But other than that, I've been, I would say, received pretty well by the women here at like cafes, bars, where I live. So I'd say yeah, the women here are pretty approachable, man. Number 3, shyness. I give this a 3 out of 10. Now, this might just be a me thing, but I'll tell you, in all my experiences, I haven't met a shy Filipina. What I gather is caution as a result of maybe being judged, or maybe lacking confidence because they feel like their English isn't that good. But I can't say that I've met a shy Filipina. I mean, they literally go out and sing karaoke in front of whole establishments. I have friends who sing professionally who won't even allow me to hear them sing in the same room as them. Seriously, all of the Filipinas I've met have been direct. They ask what they want to know and tell me what I ask about. And we both get pretty comfortable with each other very quickly. Even on the dating sites like Tinder, Filipino Cupid, and Pina Love, a lot of these women explicitly say that age does not matter, that only a genuine connection matters, right? At least that's what they say. In tons of videos I watched prior to coming here, you hear the same things being said, and even with the women I meet and talk to, same thing. Now, there are a fair amount of women I meet and have spoken to who explicitly say they cannot see themselves dating anyone who is visibly very aged. But for the most part, you know, the most common combination I see is younger Filipinas with, you know, much older guys, right? And for the most part, I don't think the age difference matters from what I see and what I read and what I'm being told. And yeah, I think that might be likely due to this next point. Number 5, money. How much they care about you having it, that is. And this one is a 9 out of 10, guys. A 9 out of 10. My own personal experiences when meeting is that I've had a couple incidences when money was a direct point of uncomfortability between me and a woman since being here. One of those incidences, in my personal beliefs, was unintentional, but the other one was clearly manipulative, like often bringing up stories about her exes and how they always would buy food for her and make sure that she was always fed, or send money for her family, or say things like, my ex was in the military, I wonder if there's a way to get the military to get him to send me money for the kids. And then she would just stare at me after that, like if she wanted me to respond or something. And you know, it wasn't done in a direct way. She wouldn't ask me straight up, but it was understood that what she wanted was for me to make the offer based on her mentionings. And then she would close the conversation by saying, but I don't like talking about money. My ex used to do it and it always caused problems. So for the most part, man, I haven't had a lot of issues with that, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people, they have completely different results when they come out here. Maybe I just need to, I don't know, get around a little bit more than I have been and find out. Now, just talking to the people I haven't met physically, yeah, I've come across a lot of that, like just online. Now, you come across people trying to like solicit themselves, solicit their friends online. Some of them pulling a bait and switch, like she'll be showing genuine interest and stuff like that. You're like, oh, okay, this might be cool. And then when you go to set up a date, she's like, are you gonna give me money? Or, you know, hey, can I ask you a favor? Can you send me some money because, and then the most popular reason is, you know, for schooling, for college. I need help with my college. And I understand it's super expensive out here to go to school, to go to college. And then the second most popular one is because they have a sick family member. Some that might be true, but I'm willing to roll the dice and say for the most part, a lot of those are not true. It's about the cheddar, bruh. Automatically, when you come here as a foreigner, you're looked at as someone who's rich, if not rich, has plenty of disposable income. So if you got it like that, I mean, and that's your thing, then hey, do you. If not, don't come here trying to be Captain Save a Chick, man. You'll go broke like trying to do that anywhere else in the world. So you'll talk to and meet some women who will take advantage of that, right? But there are some who appreciate the gesture of you paying for different things, right? So when you go out, they might only get like the minimum of something because they're being considerate of you, which is super dope, man. That's super kind. I like that, right? Now, you also have the independent type, like the independent woman, right? And I don't mean this in the propagandized way that you're probably familiar with in the West. I mean this in the way like you have women, right, who are third world country poverty or in third world country poverty, and we're eating rice mixed with black coffee as their only meal for the day for a long time, and have, you know, risen up to a place where not only can they take care of themselves, they can take care of their family. So yeah, you know, of course, that's respectful or respected. That's respected. You know, I can understand that. Yeah, do you boo boo? Take care of yourself. Yeah, you know, who wouldn't in that situation, right? But even still, guys, if you get a girl like that, still take that into consideration, man. Sometimes, you know, she wants to be treated as well. Those things, they shouldn't go overlooked, right? Oh, on this last part. So lastly, what I've noticed is when a woman here says she'll date a guy if he has a nice personality, more often than not, it seems to really mean if he can afford my desires. Keep that in mind. Number 6, conversation and communication. For me, I give this a 4 out of 10. This one is prone to change, but for now, we'll sit at a 4 to 10. The reason being is because the majority of the communication that I've had with Filipina was weak as hell, which for me sucks because I'm big on communication and having fruitful conversations with people. Now, there was only one woman that I've met who had weak conversation, like saying I don't know to thought-provoking questions or giving one-word answers to clearly intricate questions. And for me, that was a big no-no. That was a turn-off. So all of the other women I've met had good conversational skills, and some were even exceptional. For those I did not meet, well, that's the reason why we didn't meet, right? We live in a global culture that is big on texting, right? And as I understand, the Philippines in general would consider themselves to be big time texters. So when you speak to someone online, you think there'd be, you know, some consistency in communication, right? Not the case. You usually get asked a whole bunch of questions, right? And then when you turn around and ask some questions, you're usually met with radio silence. And then sometimes you might get very, very long delays. Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm not on this, like that. You exchange WhatsApps, what have you, whatever. And it's the same exact thing. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing, nothing different. And yeah, you might get one-word replies, emojis for answers. There's really no excitement or joy in those types of engagements for me. Now, maybe that is just me though, right? And also, to be fair, it might help if I learned more of the language since they are making an effort to speak to me in my native tongue. Yeah. Now we have number 7, traditional values. And I give this a 6 out of 10. Now with this one, I broke it down into subcategories. Courting, which I give a 2 out of 10. No sex before marriage, which I give a 2 out of 10. Family oriented, which I gave a 10 out of 10. And divorce, meaning they don't believe in it, which is a 10 out of 10. So I've only had 2 instances when women here that I've met ever even mentioned courting. And I noticed it was usually due to a past relationship that was toxic or it didn't end well. At least that's what was told to me. Now, on one hand, I got the impression that one of the women was truly trying to find the right guy for herself and didn't want to just jump into any old thing, which I respect. Now, on the other hand, I got the impression this other woman was saying that just to weed out candidates, which, you know, to each their own, but would really jump into any situation if she felt she could get something out of it. Just my own personal, you know, observation. As for the no sex before marriage, I'm sorry, I gotta laugh at that. I know this is said to be a very traditional or traditionally religious country, but I have not met a single woman that believed in that. And of the many, many women I've chatted with online, I literally only saw one woman, just one woman, explicitly say that she was waiting till marriage. Now, if there are a lot of women out here who truly believe in no sex before marriage, I've never met them. I've never come across them, at least, in the experiences I've had so far. So let's just say when I meet these women, no sex before marriage was definitely not on their minds. Leave it at that. For family oriented, from what I've seen and have been told by Filipinas I've met with, is that family is very, very important to them. A lot of the Filipinas I've met live for their families and hope to have a family of their own one day or already have kids. Also, when you're online, you see quite a lot of mentions about looking for long-term, serious relationships, and they might already have kids and they're happy just living a simple life, creating a family with whichever guy they select or who selects them. And lastly is divorce. Filipinos in general do not believe in divorce. Point blank. That's that. I know I said that there were 13 points in total that I had to go over with you guys, but in order to make this digestible for you guys, I needed to be time conscious. So I'm still going to give you a tip before I go. Now, if you look below this video in the description, I have links to several other videos related to this topic that I believe will be super helpful for you. So you don't have to go looking around, verifying credible sources and all that type of stuff. I've watched all of them. They're all very good and give accurate depictions of what you can expect when you come out here and have your own experiences and journey. Now, be sure to join me next week for part 2 of this video, where I go over some more juicier topics like, hookups and having multiple girlfriends, whatever. I appreciate you investing your time with me. And if you find value in anything I mentioned today, go ahead and give a thumbs up so I know what content to make more of. Share it with a friend, subscribe to help grow the channel and allow me to continue helping others. And feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you thought of the information I covered in this video. This is Unpopular T signing off. See you in the next one.